We got to talk a lot last week about domestic horror and basically all the different types of horror that were preceding Halloween, 1978, John Carpenter's amazing classic, which Bruce Campbell, as we've mentioned, Bruce Campbell called it the
Cadillac of slasher movies.
Halloween is a very, very impressive movie, especially given the fact that it's very much an independent feature. This was independent producer Irwin Yablans and Syrian financier Mustafa Akkad, and they basically wanted to profit off of the success of Exorcist, and it's like, can you give us a horror movie that like hits those beats? We will give you a $10,000 fee and a budget of about $300,000. This is a really, really small movie. John Carpenter, and this was all off the back of the success at the Milan Film Festival for Assault on Precinct 13. John Carpenter agreed to this agreement as long as he got full control, full creative control. And the center point, beyond just being let's do The Exorcist, I like to think this is them also doing Jaws. I think it's just taking all the best horror of the time and mixing it together. The synthesis is what's important. But John Carpenter would say the word Halloween, the title Halloween, is like very important to the theme of the movie. There hadn't been a Halloween movie. He wanted to make an old haunted house movie, but with the aesthetics of what had become the commercialized holiday where we celebrate horror. Beyond the amazing feat of a simply 20-day shoot over a 4-week period, the script, it goes back and forth on whether or not the script was completed in 3 weeks or 10 days. Regardless, that's kind of incredible for a script so tight and laser perfect. And at the center of it all is a meditation on just what evil really is. Evil never dies, evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight!
A jump off of the Loomis philosophy, the idea of Michael Myers as like a folklore legend more than like a monster, which he would eventually be reduced to in franchising. But truly, I just think everything about this movie is so perfect and unique and fresh for the time that even if it is a melting pot, it set the standard for a lot more things. And I think the biggest success of the movie is that it feels creepy because of really benign moments. I think a lot of horror movies don't pay enough attention to benign moments to make the scares pay off or to have some like the bleed over of the two to be like very organic. That isn't as organic in modern horror. But Carpenter did it perfectly. Carpenter and Hill, who wrote the screenplay, and I think it would behoove us to look at some of these the more benign scenes that aren't like kill-centric or whatever, and how they contribute to the vibe, the energy that's gonna make Michael Myers an iconic piece of cinema history and what makes this movie classic in general. I don't know. We always say this is worth studying. Why don't we study it? I think I'd like to sit down with a couple of scenes. Do you mind if we do that? People are gonna think this is a reaction video. It's not. This is a study. This is a breakdown. This is analysis. This is smart person's time. This is real scientific, clinical stuff. Maybe I can write a screenplay as good as this one day. I've chosen this scene right after Loomis has found evidence of Michael Myers in the woods, in the field. There's a dead body. Now we're seeing Laurie Strode coming out with her friends after school's let out, and so this is kind of a conversation between them and where that goes. Let's start this off.
Totally insane. We have 3 new cheers to learn in the morning. The game is in the afternoon. I have to get my hair done at 5, and the dance is at 8. I'll be totally wiped out.
I don't think you have enough to do tomorrow.
Totally.
Before anything, I just want to note, and this will be like kind of important to the development of the story going forward. This is a very, very cheap movie. And they talk about this a lot. Because of the budget being the way that it was, there wasn't a lot of extras to be hired. And so, so when you get a moment like this, so those cheerleaders are just complete like sound effects ADR recreations. They're not seen on screen. So ostensibly, a lot of the stuff that creates the illusion of community is just off frame. And so to that end, we're already seeing the tricklings. This is 20 minutes into the movie anyway. I mean, we've seen it. We get this sort of weird half-life to Haddonfield.
Totally wiped out.
I don't think you have enough to do tomorrow.
Totally.
It doesn't say that in the script. It says something different, I remember. And I think it might have been changed here on the day or something like that. Maybe to just further illustrate this sort of wedge between Laurie Strode and the rest of the community, the rest of her friends, that she's neither like completely a damsel in distress, but she's neither completely cynical either. She lands in this mixture world that makes her kind of like, I think we can relate to her because she seems like even keel normal compared to certain extremes that you'll find in the other supporting cast.
As usual, I have nothing to do.
It's your own fault, and I don't feel a bit sorry for you.
Hey, Linda, Laurie, why didn't you wait for me?
We did. 15 minutes. You totally never showed.
That's not true. Here I am.
But you're seeing it here. Like, all the roads are completely desolate. And even before we get to any, like, actual scare or, like, ethereal eeriness, it's just, like, weird that it's just the three of them.
Grounded him. Can't come over to him. I thought you were babysitting tonight.
The only reason she babysits is to have a place to.
Shit.
I have a place for that.
I forgot my chemistry.
And I love this because the other thing is this is a post-Jaws movie. I think they're really using Jaws techniques here, even though I don't think we want to fully credit the Spielberg of it all. But like you have, whenever Michael Myers is like around, the theme plays, or at least some iteration of the theme plays. And so something interesting here too is that like it calls for a close-up. But I think Carpenter on the day or in some sort of AD meeting, I think there's something much more understated or like becoming of the shape of the ethereal quality to Michael Myers that we maintain a distance, that the music isn't swelling yet.
Hey, jerk! Speed kills!
The way he just stops right here is like, that does so much heavy lifting here. Like when you're just seeing Michael Myers frozen still from afar, that's almost as scary. That's probably scarier than the kills. But I think knowing the fact that Michael Myers can drive a car, to me, is crazy.
I hate a guy with a car and no sense of humor.
Well, are we still on for tonight?
I wouldn't want to get you in deep trouble, Linda.
Oh, come on.
We also get more of the dynamic between her and her friends that, like, again, she's an outsider in the sense where it's like she's like a third choice. She's a second choice. She doesn't seem like she's anyone's first choice. And she does live this sort of like sedentary life compared to the average teen. We get the theme again here before he's even on screen. So we're getting the vibes, and I think it is to metatextually say he is here whether we see him or not. I think there's something to Michael Myers also, there not being like a safety in numbers. But it's three people in like a desolate landscape of a cul-de-sac. It's like, you know, and this is furthermore a theme in slashers as we go forward, where it's like ticking them off one by one. They don't stand a chance against a psycho with a machete or a knife in this scenario.
I have to get out of taking my little brother trick or treat.
Treats for Bob.
Funny. See ya.
Bye. Bye.
I think that's the other thing. We're at a distance so much from everything in this sequence, and that it's only really here when we start to get, when we start to push in again. And the only focus in that close-up is Laurie. I mean, to an extent, her friend as we kind of move in. But Laurie, we get her reaction. If that feels like a POV shot from her point of view, even though we're seeing it from her, like that's the psychology of it. We're like, we are immediately intimated into her emotional state, seeing the shape over there behind the bush. And this is kind of where we get the thing that's like built into the script, the idea of like Michael Myers as the shape, that I think they want to reframe in maybe some of the Blumhouse, David Gordon Green stuff of like, he's a being that is targeting Laurie Strode, when I don't think that's the case. There's like, the premise there is that there's a psychological torture element of it to make her seem crazy. But I think it more lands in the sense where he is a mythical creature. He is a cryptid, and the fact that we don't see him right there is maybe like a superhuman thing there. And I guess that can also feed into the meta music thing of like, his theme is like an ontological accompaniment, something that he carries with him as his sort of, sign of the Mothman. His theme song in the most literal sense. And the music still being there without him being there, like physically, kind of further proves that, I guess. And then it's just a slow fade from here. I mean, I don't know. I hope I can write a screenplay as good as this one day. I think the real linchpin about it all is owing to simplicity. Like, just because of the circumstances that they were given, that Carpenter was given, and I think just a sort of gut nature for the camera, a gut nature for composition and for pacing. I think pacing is a big one here. I don't think we didn't talk about pacing enough. It's very well paced, everything. Because of all of that, I think that's why it lands the way it does. That's why a lot of Carpenter lands the way it does. And but I think the best movies can learn that from, when you rely on character, what might otherwise seem most important in a horror movie, which is the simple act of scare, becomes amplified just by association. It will just come as opposed to being conscious about it, and that's how classics form. That's what makes horror is relying on the sum of all things rather than boo as the producers wanted them to do. What can I say? Watch Halloween. I'm surprised. This whole movie's on YouTube. Like, watch this. The whole movie's on YouTube, and the extended edition is on YouTube. There's no reason not to be studying this all the time this month. If you want to know film, this is how you know film. Thank you for watching Turner Classic Companion, your one-stop shop for what plays on TCM, the Criterion Channel, wherever you find amazing classic films. Thank you.